Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Mr. Vice President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Islamic Republic of Iran, which is a system based on religious democracy, is firmly committed to the promotion and protection of human rights. This belief is rooted in the principles, values, and rich history of the society. Iran's human rights policy is always based on interaction and cooperation in the promotion and protection of human rights, to the extent that avoiding confrontation, politicization, and double standards is emphasized. In this context, we continue our close cooperation with the United Nations human rights mechanisms to meet our common goals, to achieve broader global justice, equity, peace, security, and development through the strengthening of human rights for all. In this regard, in addition to constructive engagement with the UPR mechanism and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, Iran cooperates with other institutions and the United Nations human rights mechanisms. Iran continued its efforts to participate effectively in reporting to the human rights treaty bodies. In 2015, one thematic special rapporteur has been invited to visit Iran, and we have also principally agreed with the request of another rapporteur to visit the country, and we look forward to the finalization of their schedule. This is in addition to 7 other thematic special rapporteurs who have already visited Iran. As a member state of the United Nations and major human rights treaties, Iran believes that achieving the lofty goals of human rights requires mutual respect for cultural diversity, divine religions, values, nations, traditions, and also refraining from imposing approaches and lifestyle on others. Iran has recognized that the will of the people shall be the basis of legitimacy of the system. Since the Islamic Revolution in 1979, more than 30 general elections were held, of which 2 important elections with the participation of more than 62% of eligible voters may be named: the Assembly of Experts, the 10th Parliament elections. By harnessing this promotional and interactive approach, we continue to believe that the appointment of the Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Iran is the result of an unfair, selective, and political process, and is totally at odds with the principle of cooperation for the promotion and cooperation of human rights. I must emphasize that my country has always supported thematic mandate holders' procedure in a constructive framework. As rightly codified in the IB text annexed to the Human Rights Council Resolution 5/1 and the Resolution 5/2, in reviewing human rights issues, selective approach, double standards, and politicization should be avoided, and the protection and promotion of human rights should be based on cooperation and dialogue and capacity building in the countries. In this context, the special rapporteurs are also required to consider and observe several principles, in particular the independence, impartiality, and professionalism, and shouldn't involve their personal views in their mandate. Unfortunately, the special rapporteur generally ignored these principles that embodied in the Code of Conduct, and regardless human rights achievements and progress in the country, continues to make general claims and allegations. My colleagues in the High Council for Human Rights have provided detailed responses to all allegations raised in the report presented to the current Council. Despite the progress made by the country, a Special Rapporteur, even though has adopted a more open policy in his recent report to reflect only a small part of the progress of human rights in Iran, unfortunately opened the report with an imbalanced and biased language and presented a distorted and unrealistic image of human rights situation in Iran. However, in order to respect Human Rights Council and in a cooperative and interactive process, Iran's delegations and permanent representatives in Geneva and New York have held several meetings on technical and specialized issues with the Special Rapporteur, which unfortunately have not received due regards in his reports. Furthermore, our practical procedure is to respond to the Special Rapporteur communications. Due to the remarkable progress in human rights in the Islamic Republic of Iran and the extensive and constructive interaction with international human rights mechanisms, it's a humble request from the member states of the Council to put an end to the mandate of the Special Rapporteur as appropriate, with the existence of various mechanisms in the fields of human rights, namely UPR and thematic mandate holders, appointing country mandate holder in a selective manner and singling out a country will raise the doubt of political motives as well as jeopardize the sense of cooperation. In conclusion, Mr. Vice President, terminating the current trend and resorting to the principle of cooperation will evidently lead to a broader engagement with thematic mandate holders mechanism. It's crystal clear that mutual cooperation, dialogue and interaction in any area will culminate to understanding and result-oriented approach. Thank you.